Good afternoon, YouTube, and welcome back once again to Phatkat Collections. Today, another watch review, and this is by a company called Filippo Loreti. Now, Filippo Loreti is one of those, I would say, just in my opinion, one of those like kind of crowd-funded, Indiegogo, social media driven watch companies. Again, nothing wrong with that. I think it's a great way for companies to actually release a product and to really expose to a lot of people. Remember guys, when it comes to watches, it's not, in my opinion, if you're like-minded and you're a collector like myself, it's not meant to be taken too seriously. Maybe if you're spending thousands and thousands of dollars on a watch, maybe you get a little nervous about it. Maybe you're more, in tune with all the specifics and whether the market's going to increase, decrease. Honestly, like, I could really care less. These are not watches like this. A lot of people say, oh, well, there's watches that are investment, luxury. At the end of the day, I just really enjoy watches that look good, that provide the time, and I'll be honest with you, half the time, I don't even care if it provides the time. It's an accessory. It's like a bracelet, it's like a ring, it's like a necklace, hat, shirt, boots, jacket, whatever. It's just an accessory to my wardrobe. Everybody takes, their watch collecting a little differently. For me, that's how I roll. So I have many different watches in my collection. And, I get comments sometimes, people are like, oh, get this or get that. Like, yo, I have over 1,000 videos on the channel. And I think Filippo Loreti is one of those watches that's fun. It's a company that, they reached out to me a couple weeks ago and they sent me 2 of their watches, one of which I already reviewed, which if it's, by the time you're watching this video, if it hasn't released, you'll be seeing it soon. And this is one of their other dress watches. Now, again, guys, I reviewed all different kinds of watches on this channel, all kinds of different price points, from watches that cost, $68, $50, all the way up to watches that retail cost $4,000, $2,000. I have a very broad range. And remember, when you watch me review watches, you may say, well, this particular brand, oh, that doesn't count, that's overpriced. Remember, watches, for the most part, well, let me just say, all watches are a luxury item. If you really just want something to tell time, you can do that for $10. Most people nowadays really don't wear a watch to tell time. They wear a watch because it is part of their outfit. It's a fashion piece. It's just part of their personality. Again, that's why I wear watches. It's totally up to you guys as how far you take it and how serious you take it. And ultimately, again, at the end of the day, it really comes down to buying what you like and enjoying it, and being nice to other people. Not everybody wants to spend a lot of money on a watch. Some people don't want to spend a lot of money on a watch because they can't afford it. Other people, like myself, I would never spend thousands of dollars on a watch. The watches I do have that are very expensive or more expensive are from companies that wanted to work with me because, again, one thing I do on this channel is I really talk about these watches in 100% honesty, and so, again, there's different, remember, when you're buying a watch, if you ultimately just want to watch till time, then you're always going to go back and forth with, oh, well, I can get this for $50, I can get this for $100. You're always going to go back to value. So it really just comes down to your wants and needs. If you want to tell time and that's all you're really caring about, and you want something that looks decent, you can spend $20 on a DH Gate special. Nothing wrong with those watches. I have a few. So really, it just comes down to what, in my opinion, I kind of feel like when you wear a watch, no matter what brand it is, you're looking for that name, a little bit of that name recognition. So when somebody says, hey, what kind of watch is that? Or they do notice, if they notice, and you say Filippo Loreti, they might have noticed that brand, they might have seen that brand. There is a status symbol when it comes to watches. That's why I think a lot of people wear Rolex, because they know when somebody says, hey, what is that? And they're like, Rolex. So he's going to say, wow, they spent a lot of money on that. Again, it's really subjective. It really comes down to the particular person. So when I review a watch like this, what I'm really looking for is honestly, how does it look? How's the quality? Is it really a ripoff, or is it decent? And, like I said, I reviewed so many watches on this channel that a lot of times with the watch that I've reviewed, when you spend $4,000 or you spend $400, there's really not a lot of difference in quality. There are subtle differences, and that's the real thing I want you guys to always take from my channel when I do watch reviews. If there's a huge difference, I'm going to tell you, but most of the time, be honest with you, it's really all about subtle differences. A guy may want to buy a Invicta because he recognized the name because of the value. Now, I know all the time you'll hear it from watch guys, oh, you can get a Seiko for this, you can get an Invicta, and it goes with Invicta, you can get an Invicta for this, you can get this watch. Remember, watches, it's your own personal preference. And the reason this is an exciting watch for me to review today is because this is a watch that my buddy actually turned me on to the brand. He saw it. He said, yeah, I got sucked into an Instagram ad, and he was looking at it. I said, let me reach out. And the thing is, I reached out to Filippo Loreti. They didn't get back to me on my email, to the best of my knowledge, but then several weeks later, or several months later, they reached out to me. So it's great that I'm able to work with these companies, and it's great that I'm able to say, hey, let me check out and see what the watch looks like before you place an order, before you get one. You'll make sure, because, like I said, guys, there are watches out there that if you, and again, I'm not going to name any brands, but there are watches that I've gotten that are, from, so the eBay specials, and honestly, and here's the thing, a lot of times with those watches that are really inferior quality are really $40 watches. Like I have a few wood watches that when you feel them, you don't have much of a back on them. They're very basic pressed on backs. When I look at things like quality, I'm looking at the real obvious differences. Does it have a threaded, and again, not to say that if it doesn't have a screw on back, it's bad. I'm just saying that there are some certain level of quality that I expect. And that's why I love Invicta, that's why I love brands like this, because you're really getting a great value and you're getting a watch that's going to last you a long time, that looks good, that feels good, that doesn't feel like a $40 watch. It just feels like a nice quality watch. And if somebody were to say, hey, how much that costs? Most of the time they're going to think it costs a lot more because the quality has gotten so good on these. So enough of me rambling on. Let me show you the one I want to share with you guys today. This is the watch right here. So this is how all the Filippo Loreti watches come. They come in an outer cardboard box, which I'm not going to waste any time showing you guys. Black kind of matte finish. Get the Filippo Loreti logo on the sides of the box. They kind of have this kind of a ghosted, glossed image of one of their watches. I believe it's actually this watch on the box. I believe that's different on, I don't think I'm not really sure actually. I don't think that whenever you get a watch from them that it's the exact watch on each box. I can't imagine they would make several different boxes, but on this particular one it appears to be this particular watch. And this one's called the, hopefully I'm saying this right here. This is called, it's Ascari. I'm going to say Ascari, maybe the C is silent, or Ascari. So not really sure how you say that, but this is the rose gold and rubber watch. So again, I'm not going to go to, you guys know I'm not really a box guy. What I am is a watch guy. And so, but you do get a little rubber, little kind of fake faux leather pillow. Again, watch boxes for me are really just about the presentation, the gift, rather than give somebody, here, I got you a watch for this occasion. You have a box to presentation. Now, if you don't have a lot of watches, maybe you keep them in a box, but I think there's so many nice boxes out there to get, you can replace the box. But this is the watch right here. Now, I wouldn't call this a homage to really anything, and I'm sure, again, some guys may say, oh, it's a homage to this, but let's face it, this shape, and you can see right here, we can say homage Rolex, we can say all these different things. Really, a Rolex, there's nothing really fancy about the shape. It's just a basic watch shape. So remember that watches like this aren't really copying anything. It's just a classic standard size watch with a classic shape that everybody makes. So there's nothing really spectacular or unique about this particular design. It's just a classic design, which is fantastic. Now, the reason I picked this watch is because my buddy, this is the one that he saw on their website. He says, yeah, I just got sucked into it. Maybe I want to get a watch, and he knows I'm so into watches that I was pretty happy to hear that, because it's nice when you find common ground with people. And I like to, it's always nice when you can, I guess, express your own personality and somebody else might take an interest in your hobbies. I don't know, it's just kind of cool to share these things. So I reach out, when Filippo got back to me, or I got, when I reached out to them, when they found we had communication, I said, let me get one of these as one of the watches to review. And I got to tell you, you guys know I'm not a huge silicone or rubber strap guy. I really only got this because my friend was looking at this, and I am actually going to gift this to him because he's, one of my best friends, and we're always going out on his boat, and the summer was fantastic with this whole COVID thing. It was really a fantastic summer of really getting out there. The ocean is so healing to me that it meant a lot to me that he made the effort to pick me up and take me out, and it's fantastic. So I just want to get him a little token of my appreciation, even though this is on, thank you Filippo Loreti, thanks to me, but it's great because, with something like this is such a nice watch that when he wears this, not only is it a token of our friendship, but other people may see this and say, hey, it's a nice looking watch. What's cool about this is I don't have a lot of rose gold, and I never would have suspected that a rose gold and green watch would really be to my liking. This is a great, classy color combination. The rose is beautiful in this. The finish, when guys talk about watch that cost thousands and thousands of dollars. Oh, the finish is amazing. Guys, I can honestly tell you, the finish on this is on par with any watch I have that's $2,000–$4,000. Invicta, I mean, that has great finishing, Aragon. All these watches, if you're making a quality timepiece, you're just making a quality timepiece. I know, again, when we argue and I talk about, what my opinions are when it comes to luxury brands like Rolex, yeah, I know there are subtle differences, but nothing that anybody's going to see. Nobody's going to pick up one of those watches and pick this up and say, oh man, you can really see how this Rolex is blowing this Filippo away. It's just not true. This is a fantastic quality watch. Awesome back on the Filippo Loreti watches. They really do. Each one of their watches has a really very artistic, well-designed, well-thought-out back. These are screwed-on case backs, at least on this model and the other model that I reviewed the other day. Again, finishing's awesome. Bezel play. It's a nice, smooth turning bezel for those of you who always want to hear that. For those of you who claim that, oh man, the luxury brands, you turn the bezel, you're going to feel the difference. You're not. This is fantastic. The bezel's smooth. The bezel's, I believe, 120 click. The bezel lines up with the 12 o'clock position. It is a quartz. That's the only thing. Some people are, some people are really diehards when it comes to automatics. I do prefer an automatic. And, honestly, I hope that Filippo Loreti eventually may branch off to maybe using more automatics. They have a few, but they charge quite a bit for them. And I feel, honestly, and this is where I want to be honest with you guys, when you're looking at value, because you're throwing an automatic movement, you can get the Seiko NH35, many Seagull movements that are very affordable, and it won't cost the company that much more to put those in. And you don't have to charge $200 more for the watch. So really, this price, and this is $169, that's on par with a lot of other brands. I can tell you that if you were to go into a mall and see what $169 gets you, this is going to be a great value. You're probably not going to find anything like this in the mall. I would say if you were going to a mainstream store, look for a watch on this quality level, you're going to probably spend about $300, maybe more. So it's fantastic. Again, threaded case back. I did pop this open to put a new battery in it. Did have a little issue there. Sometimes these things, they sit around, and unfortunately, watches normally come with the crown pulled out. There's a little spacer tab in there to preserve the battery until they ship it out to the customer. This was removed till the battery probably ran out of juice. So it is a chronograph. For those of you who don't know, it's just basically a stopwatch. It's not something I personally use a lot of my watches, but it does give you a totally different look with the watches, or with the each model. This does not have a screw down crown, does not have screw down function pushers, but you still get a level of water resistance with this. I think it's a fantastic watch. I mean, it's just absolutely it's a great color combination. I like it. What can I say? I'm surprised. I'm pleasantly surprised the quality of Filippo Loreti. Some of the guys out there, you'll see them. They have their own interest on YouTube. They're like, oh, brands like Movement and these other crowd funded or Instagram funded or Instagram driven. Not saying Filippo Loreti is, but just brands like this that show up on a lot of those social platforms. A lot of times you'll get the guys who are reviewing watches on YouTube and saying, oh, this is crap, this is garbage, no heritage. Remember, guys, buy what you like, enjoy what you like. You'll find there's value in products if you find value in the product. And what's important is, as a consumer, and why I'm here to help, is to let you guys know if something's really garbage, if something's really pretty poor and I wouldn't get it. There has been a few products I've owned and reviewed on the channel that I've had bad experiences with, and I share with you guys. Something like this. Now, again, I can't speak on how long, the longevity, because I haven't had that long. But we'll find out. I always come back and re-review products. I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to continue to review watches and products and all this different stuff. But honestly, with my track record with watches, I have watches that are over 20, 25 years old. They were very inexpensive watches, and they all still work. Batteries are literally the only thing that goes out. These watches are all made very well. Remember, these are not NASA space shuttles. These are not F-22 Raptors or any kind of fancy, crazy plane, all this high-tech stuff. They're watches. They're simple. They've been doing this a long time, or people have been making watches, companies, a long time. There's nothing really elaborate and crazy. Again, I know there are differences in quality and there are differences that make watches better and movements better, but at the end of the day, Quartz is pretty reliable. They tell time. They look great. And when you feel something like this, you're not going to feel this and be like, oh man, that's a crummy watch. It's a nice looking watch. It'd be a great gift for anybody. And I think you guys, if you haven't checked out the brand, check them out. You know, sometimes people don't always want to get, you know, even though like you can get different values of different brands. Some people, you know, like I have so many Invictas, and there's a lot of Invictas I like, but a lot of times, you know, lately I've been buying other brands just because I want a variety. I want difference in my collection. I don't want all Invicta watches or all Aragon watches. You know, I want some Filippo Loretis. I want some Casios. I want some Seikos. I want a nice variety because my moods when it comes to watches, I want to wear different things, and you know, not all the time do I want to wear a gigantic, you know, Hercules. You know, a lot of times I want to wear some just kind of clean, simple. So again, it just comes down to your mood. Remember, all these watches are great quality, and don't let anybody tell you that these are crap watches or garbage watches or any brand for that matter. I'm not talking about just Filippo Loreti. I'm talking about any brand for that matter, because you see them on YouTube, and these guys are have their heads so far up their asses, and they're so snobbish that they automatically will say, oh, brands like this are complete crap, it's beneath them. And that's not true. Brands like this are fantastic. Brands like this give you value. They give you a nice looking watch. Things that are going to look nice in your outfit, that are going to be functional and last you, you know, a long time. Again, that is, we'll find out, but most things that I've reviewed, I've never had any kind of issues, especially watches, you know. So just a great looking watch, guys. A little bit more about the specifics. They've sold 432 of these. They're limited to 500 pieces. There's only 5 left in stock. That's directly on the Filippo Loreti site. I will put links in the description where you can find this stuff. Filippo Loreti, what's interesting is that this watch actually came from overseas. It actually came from, is it Lithuania, I think? I forget. It's been a couple of weeks, but which I was pretty surprised. I thought that they were more of like a you know, a United States company, but I'm not 100% sure on that. You guys know I get the product, I share it with you guys, but there are only 5 left, which is really weird here, actually. So, okay, so this is a little confusing. It says here, limit to 500 pieces, 432 sold, 68 left in stock, but then on the website, beneath that, it says only 5 left in stock. So maybe this is available from other sellers. Not really sure what that actually means, but I would probably go with having 5 left in stock based on their web information here. That's what it seems more realistic. It does get 4.8 out of 5 stars. That's pretty darn good. What else about it? So it is a rubber strap. It doesn't state whether it's silicone or polyurethane. It just says rubber strap. Chronograph hands. Obviously, it's a chronograph, and I'm reading directly off the site. It is a chronograph watch. The movement is a Seiko VD54. It is a quartz movement, but it is a brand name, Seiko, so that's fantastic. So some of the guys out there will be, there's always, you know, somebody who's going to be like, oh, well, you could have got a Seiko. Well, technically you are getting a Seiko, you know. And guys like that will actually in turn go, oh, the quality's, you know. Remember, guys, this quality is fantastic. You'll be very happy if you make a purchase with Filippo Loreti. 11.9 millimeters of thickness, 42 millimeter case diameter, and you do get 10 ATMs or 100 meters of water resistance. As far as the crystal, you know, some people, oh, it has to be sapphire. I've never scratched a crystal, whether it be K1, Cristerna, mineral, flame fusion, sapphire, whatever it is. I've never had an issue. I really wouldn't be too concerned unless you're extremely careless. And if you are really careless with your watches and you really beat them up, I'd probably tell you to get a Casio G-Shock. I mean, honestly. And that's really about it. There's not too much else to say about it. I do encourage you guys to check out their little bit of story they have about this particular model and the theme behind it. Obviously, it is race car themed. There is an old vintage race car on the back of the watch, but overall, great looking watch. I'm excited to gift this away. I think my friend's really gonna like it, I'm impressed. I'm happy. And anytime I get a new watch to add to the collection, I'm happy. If you haven't checked out my video I did on the other, it's more of like, I don't even want to call it a homage, but more of a bracelet style watch I did the other day. I forget the name off the top of my head right now, but just check out my playlist. You'll find it. Just go to the channel and look for Filippo Loreti. You'll find that other watch. I hope to get more watches in the future to share with you guys. I'm sure I'll have a long-term relationship with this company. You know, I think you guys will be pleasantly surprised if you want to pick up one of these. Remember, brand names, there's all kinds of brand names out there. There's all kinds of price differences. I would say really the big fluctuation when it comes to watches is not quality. Once you get to a quality that's just like good, like we're on good quality here, it's just good. And then your price changes. So when you start stepping up to $5,000 watches, yes, there are differences, but ultimately the difference is you're not really going to see on the wrist. You have to really know what to be looking for to pinpoint those things. So I don't know, guys. Take it for what it is. I like the brand. I think you guys like the brand too. Let me know if you guys have any questions whatsoever. Once again, I want to thank Filippo Loreti for their generosity in sending me 2 watches to share with you guys. You guys know I started reviewing on the channel mainly watches, and the channel's become kind of a big melting pot for anything that I'm into. I like to keep it that way, but watches is definitely a huge passion of mine. Stay tuned. I have another watch coming in the mail by Techno Marine. Again, wanted to get something a little different. The price was right on it. I think you guys will really appreciate that watch. And as always, subscribe to the channel if you do like the content. I almost forgot, before I close, let's go ahead and throw it on the wrist. So I have a 7-inch wrist. I weigh about 177 pounds as of today, and I'm about 5'7". So on a 7-inch wrist, naturally, unless you're 6.5, 7 inches, pretty much the average size wrist. Guys have bigger wrists, guys have smaller wrists, but at the end of the day, really, this is how a watch is going to look like on most dudes. Unless you're a real big guy, they're all going to look the same. And remember, big, small, you wear what you want to wear, you like what you want to like, and you don't have to take, people say, oh, you don't wear this, too small. Even guys, I defend Invicta, even guys were like, oh, it's a man, that watch is too small for a man. Remember, buy what you like, wear what you like. I'm just happy you're wearing a watch. So check it out, guys. Here it is. 7-inch wrist, 170 pounds, 5'7". Just a great looking watch. If you are a guy who's looking for something kind of dressy, maybe likes that kind of, I'm not going to say tactical, but more of that military kind of style. The OD green is really pretty on this. I think it's just a classy look. I'm happy to be giving it to my bud, but it's classy. It was definitely a watch I would wear, maybe down the road. Who knows? Maybe work with them again. Maybe pick up something with a rubber strap. Definitely the rose tone I really like, and I'm, again, pleasantly surprised. I don't have a lot of green. This is a fantastic green. It really looks good. The color combination is fantastic with that rose gold. And again, I'm not a huge rose gold fan. There's a few watches I have. I always gravitate more towards yellow gold, but this is just a extremely classy looking watch. It looks great. And remember, 42, not a small watch. It's your standard size watch. If you're, again, a guy who doesn't want to jump up to anything too large, just wants a night, like my dad. My dad would never wear, anything like my dad would never wear this. Okay, my buddy who's getting this watch would never wear that. This is more of a guy who's just subtle, a little, more laid back, more reserved. Then you got dudes like me who just over the top. So anyway, as always, guys, be nice to one another. Enjoy this passion, enjoy this hobby of collecting watches, and join Invicta Addiction no matter what kind of watch you have. Show those wrist shots on Invicta Addiction. Invicta Addiction, it's a Facebook group if you have Facebook. Almost up to 1,000 members now. It's great seeing all the different watches and deals. A great place to always find when there's sales and checking out, new brands and whatnot. So anybody's welcome there as long as you're nice to one another. That's all that really counts. So enjoy this fun hobby, guys. Subscribe to the channel. Click the bell to be notified anytime I upload a new video. As always, guys, be safe out there. Turkey time's right around the corner here, so it's always fun to be together with the family, in the holidays, and this great time of year. So and start thinking about Christmas as well. As always, links are in the description. Let me know if you have any questions. I'm always here to help, and you guys have a fantastic weekend, and take care.